Hello again, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Burt Reynolds' last movie, and I'm going to be reading from notes that I took on it when I watched it way back in 2018. This was a heartwarming and endearing story on aging. In the movie, the 80-something Burt Reynolds stars in a touching part written especially for him by director Adam Rifkin. As a worn-out and hard-aged has-been named Vic Edwards, Reynolds is virtually reflecting on his own cinematic career at the final stages of his life. Once a celebrated and highly venerated movie star and sex symbol during the 1970s and the early 1980s, Vic is an old and frail shell of a man who can scarcely even bear to look at himself in the mirror each morning. He's a lonely and faded relic of the past, living at home with only his pet dog as a companion. When he is forced to put his dog down due to its illness, Vic is then truly all by himself. One day, while out sharing a typical luncheon with his one friend, who's played by Chevy Chase, Vic reveals that he has been approached to be guest of honor to receive a special Lifetime Achievement Award at a special screening of his life's work in Nashville, Tennessee. Though completely disinterested at first, Vic is convinced by Chevy to take advantage of his last opportunity for personal glory and some recognition. From the moment he touches down in Tennessee, everything seems to go wrong. Vic is picked up at the airport by a young, rude, tattooed millennial brat named Lil, who's played by Ariel Winter. She is supposed to chauffeur him around in a barely running wreck of a car as she argues endlessly with her boyfriend on her cell phone when driving. Worse still, the hotel that Vic is staying at is a cheap flea bag dump. The indignity of the situation is brought home for good once Vic arrives at the venue and discovers that this glorious event is being held at a local bar, and it's hosted by little more than a fanboy little group of devoted geeks who like watching Vic Edwards films in their basements. Completely humiliated by the experience, Vic leaves and asks Lil to drive him 3 hours to his hometown of Knoxville. It is there where the fallen idol will come to terms with who he was, who he is now, and what he will do with what remains of his future. Now, Burt Reynolds gives a very endearing performance. Ariel Winter is properly irritating and gruff as hell. Gruff as hell at first, but as the story moves ahead, she managed to win me over as her character goes through an awakening along with Reynolds' character. Although I'm nowhere near Burt Reynolds' age at the time that I wrote this back in 2018, I'm well over middle age at the time I wrote this, and this movie made me take more stock in myself as well. It is a very human story and quite rewarding. It's also so refreshing to enjoy an actual story with characters in a new movie for a change, instead of suffering through endless CGI trickery and special effects overkill, though some such liberties are sparingly taken in a few dream sequences, incorporating moments from Burt's popular movies, such as Smokey and the Bandit and Deliverance. Well, this is well worth watching, especially for older viewers. On a scale of 4 stars, I give this a very happy 3.